Well, thanks for joining us at this 10 o'clock hour. I'm Anna Torrea, and our chief meteorologist, Dan Cianca, joins us now. Dan, what are things looking like right now, especially since tomorrow, I feel like it's just in sight?
It's just around the corner, only about an hour and 45 minutes away. It's officially tomorrow at midnight, I suppose. But let's take a look at our sunset from tonight. This was the view from our back parking lot in Salinas. We had some high clouds out there, a few contrails, getting some cotton candy colors this evening to cap off an interesting day where some areas were actually warmer today than yesterday, whereas many areas were cooler. Most inland areas were cooler. A few spots on the north side of the bay were a little bit warmer, due in fact to some downsloping winds off the Santa Cruz Mountains. But our hot spot in southern Monterey County today was Bradley at 74. Santa Cruz coming back to 70 today. Same in Hollister and Watsonville in the upper 60s. Salinas was in the mid 70s yesterday and only 65 today. And Monterey dropping back into the 50s today with a high of 58. So getting a little cool in some areas. And out there tonight, we're mostly in the low 50s. In the mountains, it's a little bit cooler. Boulder Creek up to 44, and even at 3,700 feet in the Santa Cruz Mountains and Loma Prieta, we're at 43 degrees. Expecting a cooler evening overall because of a lack of cloud cover. We have a few clouds out there. For some reason, I think there's a satellite eclipse that happens right around 9:30 or so right now, so we lose the image for a minute, but we just have a few clouds across southern San Benito County. Otherwise, skies are clear right now. The jet stream kind of right overhead, this trough of low pressure digging in here across the west coast, bringing much cooler air, and during its process of digging, bringing some gusty winds. We're going to catch the tail end of another cold front. We had one weak one come through today that got the winds going, and another one, which is about right here, will come through tomorrow, not bringing any precipitation, but will bring some additional winds for us. So a couple of windy days ahead of us still, and cool temperatures as this trough remains dug in here across the west coast. Now, this is going to last through about the end of the week before a weak ridge starts to push back in from the southwest. Now, earlier this week and in the weekend, we were looking at this potentially bringing some much warmer weather this weekend. But while I think it is going to go upward temperature-wise, not maybe that much. It will be closer to normal, but maybe not above as we head into the weekend. With that said, I do expect sunshine for most areas Saturday and Sunday. Beyond that, things looking a little more interesting next week with a deep trough coming in off the west coast, potentially signaling a return to some more active weather. Perhaps rather the return of some precipitation more than just a little drizzle like we saw this morning. By the way, Prunedale, the wettest spot this morning, about 0.03 of an inch. So we did squeeze some moisture out of the atmosphere this morning. In the meantime, none expected overnight. We'll see partly cloudy skies for the most part. A few clouds hugging the hills. Otherwise, mostly clear skies as we wake up on our Wednesday. Temperatures will be much cooler than they were this morning. The air mass is colder. It is drier. And with the wind blowing, it'll even feel worse than that, I suppose. Then during the day tomorrow, expecting partly cloudy skies on the coast and mostly sunny skies inland. We'll have a few passing clouds here or there. The winds will be blustery, and it will be notably cooler across the region. Most areas seeing high temperatures dip another 5 to 10 degrees compared to today's reading. So much cooler weather. Let's get into those temperatures. Here's what I'm expecting for you. Highs in the 50s across the Santa Cruz Mountains. In Santa Cruz, we go from 70 today to 60 tomorrow. So much cooler for you. And lows overnight in the low to mid 40s instead of many spots, which only dipped into the 50s overnight last night. So you'll definitely be feeling that cooler air tomorrow. We'll be in the mid 50s in Castroville tomorrow. A little bit of downsloping could get us back into the low 60s though in Watsonville. Salinas just shy of 60 tomorrow. We should get there in Gilroy and Hollister, but just barely. Monterey Peninsula, northwest wind off of a 51-degree ocean. Ooh, it's going to be hard to get much warmer than the low to mid 50s tomorrow, especially with the overall air mass being pretty chilly. So it'll be a cold day on the peninsula and farther south. Temperatures will get a little warmer away from the coast, but not much given the overall coolness of the atmosphere tomorrow. So a chilly, blustery day for you tomorrow. What do we expect later on in the week? Well, we'll warm up a few degrees on Thursday. The air mass will still be just as cold, but it almost looks like we'll have a little bit more of an offshore component to the winds. So it'll still be windy, just a little bit potentially warmer down near the coast. Beyond that, we'll be a little cool Friday because another weak cold front's coming through. Then the weekend, we warm up a little bit, really dropped our temperatures compared to what I was seeing yesterday, though. There's still some hope that it'll get warmer, but right now I don't want to get anyone's hopes up that I'm expecting a very warm weekend. And of course, early next week, we're watching for the potential return of some precipitation. Inland areas also going up Thursday and then maybe back down a touch Friday before actually warming this weekend closer to normal levels. But again, as we head into next week, it's possible we will return to a more active weather pattern, something we're watching very closely here in the Weather Center. Anna.
All right, thanks so much for that, Dan.